upper, lower? Should I make my first set harder than my second? It should be. Top 3 fast food chains. Oh God. Okay, Taco Bell has to be up there. Sorry, I love Taco Bell. I grew up on that shit. McDonald's is just cheap as hell, so if you're like really broke, it's a good one. It's really cheap, and the fries are beautiful. Oh my God, the fries are so good. What else is there? What else is in the area? I don't eat fast food a lot, but if you can't tell. What else is there, bro? What else in my area would I like go to? It's not even cheap anymore. That just tells you how long it's been since I've been to McDonald's, bro. That should tell you everything you need to know about my opinions on fast food. I run upper lower either 2 days on, 1 day off, or 4 days on, 1 day off. This week I might run it more though because Carter is in town, and we're gonna get a session in at some point, and I don't know what the fuck his schedule is. So I might be working out tomorrow. I might be working out Tuesday. I don't know. What supplement should I take at 14? You should not need to take a supplement at 14. I think you should just eat clean, good whole foods and limit crazy amounts of processed food. No, not Paul Carter, guys. Carter, the Carter extension guy. Am I West African? Oh, am I into West African witchcraft? No, I'm not. I don't mess with shit like that. Is motor unit deficit the only argument for the beginners? No. So it's also the fact that beginners have no neural adaptations whatsoever and have no actual skill in training. So if you give them like 10 to 15 exercises or more, they're not going to perform most of those exercises efficiently whatsoever. It's basically just wasting their time. So I think it's just way easier to take a beginner, give them less exercises, tell them, hey, take these exercises to failure or close to failure as possible, learn these skills, learn how to actually use your body, and then as you become more advanced, you start adding more exercises. Is 4 sets 2 times frequency vaulted? No. Honestly, perfectly fine. Especially if you're a beginner, you can get away with that. Stranded on an island, 30 days, no food, what you eating first? Bro, you guys ask me all these damn hypotheticals. You making me use my brain, and I don't want to use my brain right now. I'm answering stupid questions. I can answer volume questions all day. Can you answer the volume question you were doing before Ella got back in the car? What was the question? I don't even remember now. Top 3 feet. Oh my God, fuck you. Oh my God. How long would you say before you get adequate neural adaptations? It's kind of hard to say for sure, because beginner, like, you're always making neural adaptations. Even as you're trained, you still continue to make them. It's just like the initial phase of training is like where you're learning the skill. So for a beginner, it could take them anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks before they get the skill down packed. But the problem is, remember, hypertrophy is a long game. So just because you have the skills kind of down packed now, the goal now is to build muscle. So once you're in that phase where you're building muscle, you need to stick to those exercises as much as you can. So if you add another exercise in on top of that, you're like, oh, I made my neural adaptations, I can just add more exercises now. Now you're giving yourself more challenge and learning new skills on top of the skills that you just learned that you're trying to get better at. It's not ideal. I think that's why it's like you gotta do things in phases, okay? Take exercises, make the neural adaptations, grow, okay? Once you get bored of those exercises, you can either switch them up or add new things on top. Top 3 bones. Okay, I might be able to do this. Let me think. What bones do I really like? I love anything with my humerus. So that's one. I gotta fuck with the humerus, bro.
How dare you say that?
Why?
The humerus is such a boring bone.
But he's involved in everything that I love.
The bony landmarks are boring.
Boom, boom, boom. Pull downs. Hey, look at this girl, don't even get it, bro. Humerus has to be up there, that's all I'm saying.
No, the humerus is the most boring freaking bone on the body.
Okay, the other one, I know this one Ella's gonna love. The scapula looks pretty fucking cool.
Good,
okay.
good.
Ella likes the scapula. And then, let me think. You know what also, I'm trying to think, what's another really cool looking bone? Honestly, bro, I'm trying to think, like, what other, I guess the hip bone looks kind of cool too, not gonna lie. I don't know, I'm trying to think of the landmarks that would look, I guess like the iliac crest. There you go, iliac crest, the landmark. Ribcage goated, rec fem bone. Rec fem does not, oh God. Oh God. You gotta ask what type of session volume you run for each muscle group. For priorities, it's usually around 2 sets a session, maybe 3. Most times it's 2, because it's like almost full body, right? Because I'm running 3 times frequency for a lot of things, so it's 2 sets of that, and then it's 1 to 2 for non-priorities. Most times it's like, if it's like my lats, bro, I don't give a fuck. They're getting 1 set. I don't give a flying fuck if they grow. They can stop growing for all I care. They're done. I don't need more. I already have a turtle shell on my back. What's the difference between frontal and scap lat raises? So, number 1, there's differences in the subregions of the delt that are going to be recruited. So, whenever you have let's say we have a frontal plane raise, right? There's the subregions of the front delt are more active, but there's 7 total subregions of the delt in general. So, if we want to try to bring up the delt as much as possible, we need to do the actions in different planes of motion to recruit as many fibers as we can. So I do 1 in the scapular plane and 1 in the frontal plane. You can't physically have overdeveloped lats or side delts. Yes, I fucking can. Overdeveloped in the sense that it overpowers my goddamn physique, and my lats overpower my physique. Why do I feel my long head more? Because, well, first of all, what are you feeling? Like, you say you feel your long head, but do you even know where your long head is? Half the people don't even know where their muscles are. Like, I'll ask somebody where their like, I asked somebody the other day, like, where their biceps were, like, where their short head of the bicep was, and they pointed to, like this part here, and I was like, brother. So, like, half the people don't even know where their muscles are and where they originate, where they insert. So I would be careful before assuming that you know where it is, because you might just be feeling one of your other tricep muscles, because up top, I mean, also I will say this, your triceps are shoulder extensors, right? So you might just be feeling your long head stretch, but I don't know. Biggest weak point of my physique, I would say my delts. My delts are a really big weak point, which is why I'm like hyperfixating on bringing them up. My rear delts have started to come up a lot, which is nice, but I would say my delts. My chest is also a weak point, so I've been training that more, and then my biceps. Those are my top 3 biggest weak points. My legs are overall decently developed, but I still want to bring them up more. Glutes are another one, bro. Glutes aren't like a weak point, but I want them to come up. I want them stronger, so I can SLDL more. It's the only reason. And adductors, get them up too, so I can just SLDL more. Chest, well, I want my chest to be bigger. You can always have a bigger chest. It's my daily macros when maintaining. I mean, my maintenance is around 2,800, 2,900, somewhere around there. So,
You lucky bastard.
like I said, that's why I eat around 25 to 2,800 calories a day on average. Your delts are good. Okay, but here's the thing. Just because my muscle groups can look good doesn't mean they can't look better. And that's the point. Whenever we're talking about weak points, I'm not saying that my muscles are just shit. I'm just saying in comparison to my physique as a whole, my delts suck. Ella with the side comment is real. I know. Because her maintenance is like, what? What's your maintenance?
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Ella's not happy with me. Top 3 must have optimal exercises. I mean, there's more than 3. You have to have a lot more than 3. Adductor works in a leg press. Yep. Anything that does hip extension is going to work the adductor magnus. But your adductors are not just working in hip extension. You have other adductor muscles that do hip flexion. So it might even be worth, if you're more advanced, to do hip flexion. I think it could be definitely worth it. Top 3 is top 5 most essential for the pro. What are you doing for delts at the moment? So one session, remember, I'm doing upper lower 3 times frequency. So I can do more variation. So I have one thing where I do a scapular. So one day I'm doing a scapular side lateral raise and then a frontal, right, in the same session. And then I do a reverse fly and an incline press for my front delts, because my front delts are decent. It's just I want to bring up the side and rear delts more. So I do that for one day, and then my next day I have still another like reverse fly and then I have a shoulder press. So I alternate exercises because I have the luxury of doing it because I train more frequently. And also it lets me bias more regions. Yes, it doesn't get 3 times frequency, but it still gets, you know, hit more than once a week. So I don't give a fuck. And also I like doing shoulder press, but I don't want to do it every session. And the shoulder press, by the way, is in the frontal plane. So it's kind of like doing a lateral raise. I avoided adductors. I thought it was a girl. Bruh. I do upper, lower 3 times frequency. So not upper, yeah, so upper, yeah, I guess that's usually what I do. Sometimes it's upper, lower, 2 days on, 1 day off, but most times it's 6. How do you work around an injury like a pec strain? Just don't do anything. Don't do adduction. And honestly, you probably would want to avoid doing any sort of flexion towards the front of your body, which kind of sucks because that kind of limits you in a lot of things, but it's just, you gotta let your pec heal. Am I on the East Coast? I'm in the Midwest. Do I need a squat pattern for max growth? I mean, here's the problem. There's no one exercise that's going to maximize growth. So even a leg extension technically wouldn't maximize the growth of the quads. But at the same time, I don't know. There's an argument for needing a squat. There's an argument for not needing it. So it's like, I don't know, it just depends where you fall into that camp. You could argue doing like a leg extension and then just hip flexion would be enough. But then again, I don't know. You need it for stretch mediate. You honestly don't, because then you can just, if you have a pad that you can put under the leg extension, you can just increase the knee flexion angle there. So it's like, and also you can just stretch. If you want to maintain stretch mediated hypertrophy adaptations, you can just stretch your quads at home. So you don't need it for stretch mediated hypertrophy, you just can. Are you through upper workouts the same? They're almost the same. There's literally only just a small bits of alterations between them. The only thing I also alternate, this is something that's people are gonna lose their minds on, but it's also just because I don't care about my lats. I alternate between a Keenan flap and a pull down. I just do not care. I like doing lat pull downs. I like doing Keenan flaps. I don't want to do them in the same session because I don't need my lats to get bigger. They need to stop getting bigger. In fact, they need to get bigger slower. So I'm going to let them get bigger slower, intentionally, while everything else gets bigger faster. Wholly unoptimal, is it though? Because I'm training everything 3 times a week, and last I checked, that's more than 1 times frequency. Lock in, guys. Lock in. You can get away with more things when you train frequently. How should I train my groin? What? You mean your adductors? Wouldn't a flat press be more front delts than incline one because their leverage is, it's not just, it's also about resistance profiles. So wherever, the thing is with the Smith machine, it's extremely descending, at least mine is. So my front delts have a lot of leverage at the bottom. So I think it's perfectly fine. In fact, actually, I would argue that my incline press is probably more front delts because it's so hard at the bottom. Does your gym have an incline prime press? No. I'm in a Planet Fitness. What Planet Fitness has a prime machine? A prime. If I saw a Planet Fitness with a prime machine, I'd give them all my money. They'd take my next paycheck. Give me it. Should one increase sets for priority or add another exercise? You can do either or. It just depends on what you're even talking about. Sometimes it isn't. You don't need to add another exercise. Sometimes you might benefit from it. Planet Fitness, yeah, my Planet Fitness has.
By the way, we should
free will.
Going in soon.
Yeah, I know. Was RecFem suffer from passive insufficiency because of lengthen? It could, because it does fall on the descending limb, but you would have to really stretch out, like really hard. Pause. Do you have an A and B session? I already said this. I have a very slightly different upper session between. So like it's, even though it is A and B, it's very, very like, it's almost the same. There's only a few exercises that I change. In a sissy squat, there are probably some passive insufficiency there. I'm working on an attachment to have custom resistance profile, dub. To maximize lat growth, should I do a frontal sagittal? I think if you want to bring up your lats as much as possible, you should have both, like more stimulus. Even if you don't believe lats can be biased, it doesn't even matter. You still have more stimulus to the lats. So why not, right? You could also just do more sets of one, but then again, it's like if you want to play it safe, you can just do both, right? So no matter where you fall on the spectrum, I just recommend both. Because everything is a spectrum. So thoughts on full body 3 times for priority muscles at 3 times frequency and other, you can do that. There's no problem with that. I think it's a better way to program for some people. Yeah, I'm on the I'm biking. Oh my god, bro, I'm cooked. I shouldn't have said that. That's crazy. Do you reckon those grip trainers that went viral all those years ago? No, they're terrible. Not really terrible. Okay, let me be nice. They're not terrible because it's technically a really good isometric, but I mean that's not even a good isometric because unless it's like, well, if it's like you can't, I guess you could argue it's good for isometrics. Should I have volume if I'm progressing well? Like if I can recover from more? You could, but here's the problem: just because you can do more stimulus doesn't mean you need to. But yeah, look, if you're within your like recoverable volume, it doesn't matter. Okay, so like that's my thing. Like you don't need to do like the bare minimum. You also don't need to do the maximum, but you can do the bare minimum and you can do the maximum, and you'll still grow. It's just a matter of finding the balance of where you want, right? You don't need like max stimulus because max stimulus causes more damage, but you also don't want minimum stimulus because that's minimal stimulus, right? I kind of like to find a balance between the max and the minimum.
Hey Jackson, look what I found.
Aw. Show the baddie next to me. I don't think Ella wants to be shown.
You can show me.
I can show you? Okay. Look at her. There you go. Say hello to Ella.
Hi.
My upper days, I'm doing 17 sets per session twice a week. Is this too much? 17 sets for the workout? I mean, that's fine. I don't do that much, to be honest. But I'm more intermediate. So if you're a beginner, you can get away with more. What's my most impressive lift? Depends. Right now or my all-time? All-time, I mean, when I was 19, I did a 465 squat within a year of training. That was, I wish part of me wishes I kept squatting. But then again, I don't know. Do I hoop? I used to, yeah. And then, like, I had a 515 deadlift as well, but that wasn't that, like, crazy. And then 315 bench took me till I was, like, 20. Bench is my weakest. My goal right now is to SLDL 5 plates. If I can do that, I'll be happy. I don't have the best leverages for deadlift, though, so I might be cooked. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm not like the strongest person in the world, unfortunately. So what can I do if my heels come up all the way? Well, I would improve your ankle mobility. Use the calf presses to increase your ankle mobility. They're very helpful. That's what helped me, to be honest. Having 3 equal upper body workouts just with sets adjustments better than, yeah, in most cases. I think ABC is too much. Even for me, if I'm doing, even if I'm doing full body, or upper lower 3 times frequency, I'm not doing an ABC. At most, I'm doing an AB. Difference between SLDL or Romanian, a real RDL is going to have enough knee flexion that's going to cause the hamstrings to become, I guess, way less active. An SLDL just has a stiffer knee, so you have a very, very, very small degree of knee flexion. So little that it's not going to affect the hamstrings. But a Romanian deadlift, you almost have like a squat. That's what a real Romanian deadlift is. So anyone saying an RDL isn't like what's going to cause what's called antagonist inhibition for the hamstrings, they don't know what an RDL actually is. Oh my God, Carter's in Ann Arbor.
Are you serious?
Bro,
tell him to get over here.
I wish he said something. We could have worked out.
Well,
Fuck.
we still can.
All right, bro, I'm getting off. I'm texting Carter. We're gonna maybe get